Welcome back to Tbilisi, Georgia, and today it's all about the food as we eat our way around this glorious and historic city.
This is fantastic.
That's so good.
Oh, wow. All right, now I must be truthful and honest. I'm a little bit lost. I'm not quite sure where we need to go. I mean, I have it pinned on the map. Camille has found an amazing little food hall, fast casual, lots of options, lots of traditional Georgian food. It sounds like the perfect thing for today's lunch, but don't know where to go. The problem is that even though it is pinned, and I do know the name on screen now, it's like in the middle of the building, so we're just gonna have to circumnavigate it. But I think this is the entrance. Supermarket on the first floor, Bazaar on the second. No kidding though, it really is a supermarket on the first floor and there's no connection between the two. Don't make the mistake I did. Looks really silly walking in there. Anyway, we finally found the entrance. Wow, this place looks absolutely incredible. Way more schmicky-micky than what I'm used to in Munich. This is really cool. It looks like you really can get pretty much anything here, but we are on a mission for Georgian food. It's got to be around here somewhere.
Hi, can I have one of these, please? Do you have vegetarian? Ooh, can I have cheese with truffle, please?
Sure.
And then can I have one of these, please?
I generally with cheese and egg.
Yes.
Oh, it looks so good.
This is a lot of food.
I am so excited for this. Of all the Georgian food that we've been looking at, there have been two dishes that come to the top of my list of must-eats and what I'm truly most excited for. And that is the Khinkali dumplings. It's kind of a soup-filled dumpling, which I've never had before and I'm really excited to try. They come with so many different interesting fillings, and we went with the truffle and cheese. They say the way you're supposed to eat it, right, is to nibble off the corner like a little hamster and then slurp out the soup. I don't know how soupy this is gonna be, but oh, let's give it a go. This is amazing. I can tell you one thing. This plate is not gonna be enough. No, no, no. Over the rest of our trip, we're gonna need to try so many more fillings because this is good.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how soupy is it?
I think it might be different. I think I've heard a lot of people say they're super soupy, and maybe it just depends on what filling you get. This one, I'd say medium. You know, more than like a ravioli or anything, but not as much as I was expecting. Yeah, take a look.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like a ravioli.
Yeah, it's a little bit more dense than what everyone else said. So we're just gonna have to try more. They also say that you kind of just don't eat the handle. Kind of want to though. I know, however, you're as hungry as I am though, so pass that camera.
Yeah.
You need to dig into this.
Okay, let me nibble off a little corner, like you said, like a hamster.
I'm so excited to hear what you think.
Mmm,
Yeah?
that is so truffly.
It's like being right back in San Miniato, kind of.
So when we were hunting truffles in Tuscany, the first thing we learned was when you taste something that's extremely truffly tasting, you should think, is this truffle oil or real truffles? So I was a little worried, but when you look inside, you can see like little truffle flakes. But what I'm really liking about Georgian food is there seem to be a lot of vegetarian options as well.
Speaking of...
Oh yeah. Let me finish this up first.
The real showstopper? It's got to be the Khachapuri. Just a bread boat filled with eggs, cheese, and butter. What more could you want? It looks incredible. I've been wanting one of these for years. This is gonna be a great meal, and I am starving. Before it gets too cold, let's start eating the Khachapuri. They say you're not supposed to use a fork and knife at all, and it's quite embarrassing of tourists to do so. All you're supposed to do is break off a piece of bread and just start dipping. Start messing it up.
Kind of messy.
Cheese, butter, and eggs, man.
I'm so curious about how it tastes with the fried egg.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I was skeptical because I was like, oh, do you need it? But you do. It's really good. Man, it's messy, it's delicious, it's rich. It's everything I thought it was going to be and more. You want to try it?
This dough, though. Oh.
It's good, right? the bread's good, right? But, you know,
Oh yeah.
it wants to have a heart.
I don't want that to be a problem in a minute. There we go, okay. Oh my God,
Yeah?
this is so good. I don't know how to describe it. It's good though. It's really rich. I don't know how much more I can have of it, so I'm really glad we're sharing. I love Georgian food, and I'm so glad that we came here.
I'll tell you what, the Georgians know bread. This is so delicious. If I had my way and I could produce any travel series that I wanted, if I was on Discovery Channel or some shit, I would do what did you do with wheat? Just travel in the world. I'd be so lame, but I'd love it.
We'd have to workshop the name. Wait, what did you do?
Yeah, what'd you do with it?
Got flour all over your lips.
That was absolutely fantastic. Not only was the Georgian food brilliant, this was a great place to get it. I'm so glad we came here. Okay, now believe it or not, there is actually still one more thing I want to try here in this bazaar, and it's actually one of my favorite occurrences of multiple discovery or simultaneous invention in the world, and that is the tarragon lemonade. You see, we all associate soda with Georgia, but it's usually Atlanta, Georgia, and Coca-Cola. But here in the, if I may say, real Georgia, they also have their own long-standing history of lemonade making. At around the exact same time, almost to the year, the late 1880s, there was also a pharmacist here in Tbilisi who was inventing tarragon lemonade. It would continue to be a local Georgian favorite for quite a while until under the Soviet Union, it hit mass production and became the de facto drink, the rival of Coca-Cola within the Union, because of course they couldn't get the American staff. Tarragon is an interesting choice, if you ask me. I have no idea how that's going to work as a syrup and in a lemonade, but hey, it's right over here. I mean, we got to go with tarragon. They actually do quite a lot of other flavors, but I want to try the original. Oh yeah, could I get one of the tarragon?
Tarragon?
Yes, please.
One?
Just one, yeah. It looks practically radioactive, and look, I don't want to sound uncultured here. I have no idea what tarragon tastes like. The only time I've ever had it is in a tarragon chicken salad, and for that I think I was mostly tasting chicken and mayo. I don't think that experience is going to help me here. Oh, wow. Before I say anything, I want to hear your response. I want to know what you think. No, you don't drink a whole lot of soda.
Yeah.
But I can't pre-bias you at all. I want you to go in blind.
That's really weird. I kind of thought the soda was going to be flat. Just watching her pour the Sprudelwasser into the cup, that's just what I thought. It didn't look particularly carbonated.
It's proper sharp though, isn't it?
It's very sharp. It tastes very like herby. Lots of herbs and spices in it that I can't really distinguish.
Again, not to sound doubly uncultured, but I drink soda a lot. I love me a Diet Cola. I love me a Coca-Cola Lime. I love all the different mixes. So I do drink more soda than I should. I think I need to cut back, but oh man, I'm not gonna tell you how I think of it yet. It's incredibly sweet, but not overpoweringly so. It is a syrup, it is a soda, so it is very sugary, but still, it's got a really good balance of that sharpness and herby quality. Oh, I think this is fantastic. I really should have been drinking this the whole trip. I really should have. There's so many more I would try. I will say, not to get too political, but I think we are massively missing out by not having this in the West. We don't need Pepsi and Coca-Cola and not to have this everywhere. It's really good. In this way, I actually think there's a lot that we can learn about Georgia, the Soviets, and ourselves in the West, but you can learn so much by contrasting such similar elements. You see, in the late 1800s, American soda tradition was all about finding new flavors. I mean, the quote from Dr. Pepper himself is that he wanted to evoke the soda fountain, but no individual element within it. He wanted a new flavor. This is highly unlike the Georgian soda tradition, which was all about trying to capture the essence of the natural flavors. How can we enhance tarragon and make a pure pure tarragon drink. It's just kind of interesting to me. It's the same goal. We all want a sugary, carbonated beverage that tastes good, but how do we get to that flavor? Completely polar opposites. Though if I am being really real with you guys, it would pair well with a chicken salad sandwich.
Though now that I'm thinking about American flavors, I have noticed something interesting in Georgia that I never expected. The prevalence of American food chains. Modern Georgians are pretty into Americana like this, and they take the chains to a whole new level, easily surpassing their American counterparts if you ask me. So I don't know, maybe it's just that I downed half a liter of soda, but I'm kind of in the mood for the perfectly named Dunkler and a Dunkin Donuts Khachapuri, which, while not as good as the real thing, was way better than it should have been. But now, we need to go and get something really traditional to absolve me of my sins. Coming to this Georgia for an American donut? What am I doing with this channel?
You never really can get too far away from home, can you? Though I must say, I am at least happy that they're serving beer in proper sizes. A small one. Of course, you already know why we're here though. It's not for the beer, though I'm sure it's going to be lovely. But I needed more of those dumplings, and this was the best rated place I could find. It comes in 3 varieties. You can get meat, cheese, and potato. And we went with 3 of all 3, so consider this. Dumplings take 2, but first, beer.
Oh yeah, your first Georgian beer.
I promise, I didn't come all the way to Georgia to drink a Löwenbräu. Prost. It's really nice. I mean, you can tell it's not a Löwenbräu pretty clearly. It's a little bit sweeter, it's a little wheatier. It's a really lovely lager. I'm well pleased with that. I hope the dumplings are half as good.
Can I try some?
Please do.
My favorite beer. Yep, tastes like beer.
Not a big fan. Anyway, I'm gonna enjoy this while we wait for the dumplings. Now, is this not a sight for hungry eyes? We have a potato, we have a cheese, and we have a meat. Maybe I already ate one. Couldn't resist. They look amazing.
Which flavor is that?
This is meat.
Okay.
Oh my. This is what it said on the tin. This is what everyone warned me about. This is fantastic. It really is incredibly soupy. There's a ton of filling as well, but it is in a soup, unlike earlier where it wasn't. And that's really what makes Khinkali so fantastic, right? They don't make a soup and put it in a dumpling. What they do is they craft the soup within the dumpling. It cooks and becomes that soupy, wonderful mixture as the dumpling itself cooks. It's just so weird to me, and I love it. See, there's still a ton of filling, but there was a lot of soup in there as well. I think I'm gonna eat the handle anyway. I just need it.
Flame him in the comments.
It's so good.
Oh, you actually did it. I thought you were gonna be like, and cut. Let's imply that I ate it.
You wanna pass me that camera and I'll let you dig in.
Yeah, I need to experience this soup thing for myself.
It's really cool. I would recommend the cheese.
Okay. I'm so nervous. It's not soupy.
The cheese one isn't?
It's not soupy.
Mine was.
No, I'm just like sucking cheese out of a dumpling. Maybe because yours is the traditional beef one. But it's really good. It's just delicious, tasty cheese. Should I try the potato?
You wanna try the potato?
Yeah.
Go 2 for 2? I'm so sorry if you don't get to try it.
Not really. It's like,
Poor vegetarians.
it's okay. They're still really good. I think this is fantastic. I mean, it is sad that I can't experience sucking soup out of a dumpling. Maybe we can find another place and I can try it. But these are so good. The dough is delicious. I love it.
So we came back to the Bazari Orbeliani because we just can't stay away.
It's too good here.
It's so good because it is finally time to try some famous Georgian wine. But before we let ourselves indulge, there is some really important history that you need to know, but I'll let Ben tell you about that.
So I learned something absolutely fascinating about Georgia on all of the tours that we've been going on. And that's, I knew wine was important in Georgia, but what I didn't realize is that the archaeological evidence that we have today suggests the first wine that was ever discovered was here in Georgia. You see, in the southern Caucasus, wine, or at least the residue from grapes that would become wine, would gather in these pits and ferment. Humans discovered this fermentation right here in the Caucasus Mountains and learned to harness it, creating earthenware vessels where they would intentionally put grapes and intentionally let them ferment. There has been nowhere else on Earth so far discovered that has wine as old as Georgia. It very well could come from here. That's so fascinating. It tastes amazing as well, which is such a shame that, at least to my mind, again, I'm not a huge wine drinker, but I never think of Georgia and wine. I'm always thinking France and whatnot, but we just went with the house white and it's a hit. I mean, to my taste buds, this is some of the best wine I've ever had. It's amazing.
You want to try the red?
Oh, for sure. Of course, Camille went with a red to balance things out. Smells amazing. They serve it in proper portions as well. It's absolutely lovely. From just an average guy having an average drink, I could say this tastes above average to me. But besides all of the fantastic flavors, the last thing I learned about Georgian wine culture is that toasting is very important. They don't need to be long or drawn out, so I'd probably be pretty bad at it, but having someone at the head of the table, showing appreciation for guests, friends, good food and good drink is always important. I can get behind that. Cheers, guys. I think I'm most interested in what you think though, because I never know. Do you like wine?
Not really. I don't mind red wine. I really like sweet red wine though. And that wine schorle that we had in Heidelberg, mwah, so good.
Still thinking about that.
Okay, so I'm gonna try my first famous Georgian wine. It tastes like good quality wine. I'm just not a wine person, I don't know how to describe it, but it does taste good.
Is it sweet, dry, who knows?
And since we've gotten here, we've actually tried a lot of Georgian red wines that we've been given on various tours we've gone on, and they've all been very sweet. I've never had wine this sweet, so this is kind of cool. So home brewing is actually really popular here. So in some of those aforementioned tours, we've actually just been given the literal house wine.
I love it.
I wonder if it was made in a bathtub.
You don't think about what vessels they use.
So if you are a wine person, you've got to put Georgia on your radar. I feel like it's a great way to flex to other wine people because I think in general, people don't associate this country with wine.
Even though it's where it's from, apparently.
Cheers.
An incredibly fortunate happenstance. You see, we're exploring Old Town Tbilisi and Call to Prayer came about, which took up kind of the entire main street. It was really cool to see, and I love hearing a call to prayer, but that forced us to explore more of the side streets, and I've been wanting to try this forever. Tbilisi is very famous for its juice stands, so people will walk around and they'll get fresh pressed juice. Often it can be a bit of a hard sell, which is always a turn off for me, but as we walked around this corner, we found this lovely man who was running his stand. He was not being very pushy at all, so it just felt like now would be the right time. He was offering juice and glühwein, so here we are.
Okay, so this is, according to the guy, half pomegranate, half orange.
Ooh, that's a combo.
So I'm very excited. He spent a while pressing all of the fruit. That's so good.
Really?
I do quite like orange juice, but this is like that, but elevated.
Whoa.
Very tart aftertaste. You've got to try it.
Cool.
Here.
Oh yeah. Wait, why do we not just have this all the time? It's so tart.
We'd have to have a juice press at home.
It's so good though. All right. I understand why everyone is recommending that you have this. I would recommend it too.
Now, our time in Tbilisi wasn't all self-guided food tours. As we mentioned earlier, we were in town for a travel conference, and as such, we got to go on several day trips hosted by the Georgia Tourism Department. If you want to see those trips, and you do, they were really cool, like and subscribe because that's coming up in our next video. But for now, I want to show you some great food I had with the tourism board in the town of Meshketa, 20 kilometers north of Tbilisi, where we were treated to a giant Georgian lunch at Kera restaurant. Not only was the view amazing, with a gorgeous view of the Kura River and adorable modern cottage interior, but the food was also traditional and delicious. With the appetizer, I was finally able to try some famous Georgian cheese that wasn't melted in Khachapuri. From Tbilisi string cheese, to the regional imereti, to some mozzarella like suguni. It was definitely a cheese lover's paradise. Luckily, just as I was becoming a bit concerned with how much dairy I was consuming on this trip, we were served a big helping of fresh Georgian salad, and this excellent fish baked in parchment paper. But what I was most excited for was Phkali, a traditional dip made of minced vegetables bonded together with a ground walnut puree. And look, I'm not a doctor, and this is not medical advice, but I have a tiny walnut allergy. My tongue gets a little itchy, but even that couldn't stop me. The Phkali was just worth the risk. It was amazing spread over the fluffy Georgian bread. If you visit the town of Meshketa, you have to have lunch here.
And lastly, as we wrap up this video, I need to give a very honorable mention to Restaurant Pasanauri, right here in the historic Spa district. If you watched my last video, and I sure hope you have, you'll know Camille and I dove headfirst into the incredible sulfur spa scene here in Tbilisi, following the very waters and hot springs that founded this city to every spa we could book, from the cheapest to the most expensive. Often when we were finally done filming, we'd leave the spas pretty late at night, absolutely starving, and the only place open and close by was Pasanauri. But walking in at midnight, this place was a real Georgian haunt. I didn't hear a lick of English except from our waiter, who was absolutely lovely, walking us through the menu, giving us excellent recommendations. You could not ask for more. From trying every Khachapuri they have, to even more Khinkali, shout out to the mushroom-filled dumplings, finally letting Camille get in on the action. This place was awesome. We went here like 4 times. But now, I think it's about time we bring this video to a close. If you haven't watched our spa video, by the way, well, now is your chance. If you liked this one, I know you'll like that one too. It was a great video. Subscribe naturally to encourage the growth of our channel. Share us with your friends. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, wherever that might be.